Hey guys, Hitman89 here, I hope you're doing great, and today we're gonna be diving into Diablo 4. It's been 11 years since we've had the Diablo game, and no, mobile games don't count. Diablo 3 was far from being a bad game, but it disappointed a lot of fans back then. So this is a question we're gonna be answering today. Is Diablo 4 a masterpiece worth buying right now for $70, or is it basically Diablo 3.5 that's only gonna be worth playing once it sees its price cut in half? Let's find out! The first thing I noticed when playing Diablo 4 is that it's dark and gruesome. And it's not just the graphics, it's the whole atmosphere. You get to see that in one of the very first cutscenes where the villagers turn this priest into shawarma.
Ah, I see you have an eye for quality.
Yeah, when it comes to gory stuff and meaningless details, I'm your guy. In all seriousness though, I'm really glad it's not colorful and cartoony like Diablo 3. By the way, I came across a decent amount of bugs. Nothing game breaking, but some of them were really annoying, like when I couldn't pick up an item or talk to an NPC. I've also had a couple of glitches, some late pop-in, and other kinds of visual bugs here and there. But regardless of those issues, Diablo 4 is the best looking ARPG you can play right now. The destructible environments and the way your attacks affect the grass, sand, and all kinds of terrains is really satisfying to see. Plus the whole thing runs at a solid 60 FPS, most of the time. The amount of content here is insane. Apart from the 30-hour-long main quest that's divided in 6 acts, there are tons of side quests, dungeons, strongholds, and events that you can take part in with other players, which I found enjoyable. Speaking of other players, this isn't a single-player game anymore. It has that MMO vibe and it kinda feels more like Path of Exile than Diablo. Plus it's online only, so you can't pause the game, and when the servers are down, or when your internet is being an unreliable little bitch, you can't play. Anyway, the soundtrack is epic, the voice acting is dope too, but in my opinion, the dialogue volume is too low. Sometimes it's hard to hear what people are saying during cutscenes, even after turning the music down a little bit. Let me know if you have the same issue. Now if you don't want to go nuts after a couple of hours of playing Diablo 4, I recommend you disable this message.
I don't have enough fury. I'm low on fury. I'm out of fury. I'm low on fury.
This shit got on my nerves real quick, cause every time I'm beating the shit out of these demons, I have to hear the same message 69 times. Now before we dive deeper into the gameplay, I wanna thank PlayerAuctions.com for sponsoring this video. In case you guys didn't know, Player Auctions is filled with independent sellers offering all kinds of in-game items, level and services, and even ready-to-use accounts full of valuable stuff. Player Auctions has a marketplace for over 250 games, including Fortnite, League of Legends, FIFA, and Diablo 4. So click the link in the description and get everything you need. Now let's get back to Diablo 4. Items, enemies, quests, dungeons, and pretty much everything scales with your level. And I think that's a good thing, cause I want a challenging experience and I don't want to be over leveled and run through enemies like they're nothing. So I started on World Tier 2, aka Veteran mode. I played Barbarian, and honestly, I struggled with a few bosses at first and died several times, until I reset my skills a couple of times and tried different builds. And I really recommend you do the same, cause that's how you'll end up finding the build that truly suits your playstyle. You probably won't have to do that if you play Necromancer or Sorcerer though, cause those motherfuckers are so OP, the whole game is pretty much a piece of cake for them. I think we can all agree that the class balance sucks dick, right? What doesn't suck though is the story. Some people didn't seem to like it, but I did. I found it very interesting, and I really enjoyed listening to dialogues and watching the in-game cutscenes where I could see my lame-ass character. All jokes aside now, exploration is always rewarded here. There are chests, optional locations, and even treasure goblins, which, as the name suggests, are goblins carrying a bag on their back full of gold and valuable gear. Whenever I spot one, I drop everything I'm doing and I chase that motherfucker. No matter how many enemies there are in the area, all I care about is killing that goblin and taking his treasure. By the way, as soon as you finish the prologue, you get to play the whole game in split screen with a friend or online with up to 3 friends, and that's awesome. I reviewed Diablo 4 on PS5, and for those of you who care, there's no haptic feedback and adaptive trigger support. Which is a shame, but then again, if it had that, then the DualSense batteries would probably be drained in a couple of hours. Oh, and if you want to take a break and turn off your console, or maybe do a side quest or a dungeon after starting one of the main quests, you'll lose your checkpoint. It's like you didn't even start the quest. You gotta go back and talk to the NPC again, so keep that in mind. When it comes to the crafting system, I feel like it's a slightly improved version of what we had in Diablo 3, so it's not great. But none of the issues I mentioned throughout this review prevented the game from being highly addictive and extremely fun to play. I just make sure to mention all the issues I noticed so you know exactly what you're buying. I think it's time to move on to the verdict. Diablo 4 is a blast. First day, I played it for 11 fucking hours straight. I just couldn't put the controller down. Even with the minor bugs, the balancing issues, and the 6 skill slots, I still think this is a great game. And that's why I'ma give it an 8.5 out of 10. Now, is it worth $70? If you're a Diablo fan, or if you like ARPGs in general, then it's definitely worth it. But if you're still on the fence, then just wait for the game to be on sale. Hopefully it would have been patched some more by then, and you'll have an excellent game for cheaper. I hope you found this review useful or entertaining. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you did, and please subscribe if you're new to the channel. Next, we'll have the best RPGs of all time, so stay tuned. It's been Hitman89. See you guys very soon.
For the pay stub or you'll pay up. Don't make love to the game, bruh. Fuck the game up. Change up, rearrange stuff to your greatness. Famous for the way up. Play the game, bruh.